Hi, Brett. It's so nice to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
Great. I'm feeling great. I'm happy to be here. Nice to
Beautiful.
meet you.
Yeah, and you see, like I mentioned earlier, thank you for being here. And oftentimes, I love to say this, all right? I thank my guest for two main things. Firstly, Brett, I want to thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, I was on this road some months back, and just by the roadside, there is this tall mango tree. But you see, the mango tree didn't catch my attention. Why? Because it's got no mangoes on it, and it looks so dry and not attractive at all. And I just walked past it. But you see, just recently, I was on that same road, and this time around, something changed. While I was just talking to the person who was with me, and I just turned like this and I sat at the mango tree from a distance. And this time around, I got the urge to, move closer and have a good look. Then I told the person who was with me, I said, "Hey guy, you've got to give me a second, alright? I want to go check something." Then when I got closer, Brett, it wowed me because this time around the mango looks so beautiful and attractive. Why? Because it's got a lot of mangoes on it, and not just mangoes, but ripe mangoes. And I was really happy, and it looks so amazing. The point is the fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing person you are today. It makes it so impossible for me to say nope to not having you on the show because of the amazing things that you're doing and how impactful your work is and all of the great things that you're doing. And I feel like it is a must that we benefit from your pool of knowledge and your pool and your wisdom of these amazing things that you do. So thank you so very much, Brett, for investing in yourself, and thank you for being on the show. I truly appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm really glad you shared that story of the mango tree with me today. I needed to hear that, and I believe in a lot of ways. Like I've been on this journey for personal and professional development for a number of years, and I believe that mindset is a muscle,
Yeah.
and you keep working out on it, and I'm on this mission to become the best version of myself, and all these little things, sometimes we have these challenges that come up in life, and then you realize there's the blessing. I was given that learning for a reason, and mango tree is a great example. And it's just like that story of the bamboo that grows. We see how fast it grows, but we forget that the bamboo tree roots were growing for 7 years before they actually sprouted and grew. So all that work that we do, investing in ourselves to grow, sometimes we don't see the payoff, but we're
Mm,
planting those seeds and we're digging deep and growing ourselves and becoming the best version of ourselves.
I
Yeah.
got that. That's a
Yeah.
great one. That's a great
Yeah.
one. Okay, so you see, I am quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking, because I believe in order to move from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Brett, I believe it takes the application of knowledge. But you see, not just knowledge, but the application of it. And ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge, Brett, and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Brett on the show is for the sake of the listeners. You know, Brett, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got a lot of information flying out there. How to do this and how to do this and how to become this and how to. You see, so these folks trust me for quality information. And when I
Yes.
was reading about you, I was excited about the things you're doing, and I believe our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, Brett, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. You know, we are just so curious. We want to know how you got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Brett, over
Sure.
to you.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll start with, I can do this really nice and beautifully. I've been in the IT field professionally since 1996. And I had this beautiful journey of working for a construction fabrication company. And I was so grateful to work with this organization that taught me a lot of great values about making an impact in the community and just within their team. And I pivoted to start my own IT company. I remember writing down some goals. I wrote them down in 2007 when I was participating in a Brian Tracy webinar with a real estate client that I was working. And I wrote down in 2007 10 goals. And one of them was that I own my own successful IT company by April 1st, 2010. Found that book that lists the goals earlier this year in February. And it was so amazing to see it because in April 1st of 2010, I started my company and it just got me so excited. And I've been on this leading a great organization in my community and Atlantic Canada and now the world, serving various different businesses, helping them manage their cyber risk. I pivoted hard a number of years ago, recognizing that with today's sad reality of what's happening in the world with the cyber, that we weren't doing enough. So I started on a pathway of overcoming some limiting beliefs of what I thought was possible, but also doing what was necessary, what I knew deep down in my heart, what was necessary to help people understand that the only pathway to taking care of that risk that we have for cyber is a multi-layered. And but at the same time, I'm on the mission just to make sure that I educate people that we need to do more and we need to be informed and share this information with our loved ones so that no one becomes a victim. And I don't want to see anybody. I want to minimize the blast field, even though we don't serve the personal residential. I've done guest appearances to seniors organizations to let them know that to be cautious and be hesitant about what you share and what you click on. And I also make sure that we're educating professionals to realize that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when a cybersecurity event can happen. And there's a whole depth of other things I can share with you. And I'll let you ask a few questions if you want to, depending on where you want to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you see, Brett, I feel like what you're doing is very important to this world and to every individuals, because just I think it occurred yesterday or 2 days ago, someone complained in a particular group. My estate, we have a group. So in the group, someone complained and said that he just got scammed, and he explained how it all happened. He said he was instructed to click on a particular link, and he thought the link was for something that he thought was right, and they
Yes.
only created some kind of impersonation. They just created another link to do their evil work like that. And he clicked the link, and all of a sudden he explained how his phone went off, and he tried to put it on back, and something happened, and he started getting this debit alert, debit alert, debit alert and stuffs. And he then was telling folks not to click links anyhow, and he has learned the hard way and stuff like that. Then you see, while you were talking, it just occurred to me that if those folk had heard you speak, let's say we did this podcast some days back before the incident occurred, you would have probably avoided the link. So now let's look at the folks um, who would get help and who would take informed decision after listening to our conversation. So that's why I said it's a very important topic. You get it?
I do. And I want to dig into that just for a second and then give an offer. I have some information that I'm happy to share. I've developed a document, 15 ways to prevent your business from being hacked. And if you DM me, find me on Instagram or LinkedIn, I will send you that information with 15 actionable items. Just message me 15 ways. I want to share something really important, especially for the small business and even home users. And the best way to share this, to say this, is by sharing a quick story, okay? So I was just getting out of the gym about a month ago, and I got a message from a client that was very concerned. So I drove to the client. They were a 5-minute drive. So I went there and I saw the lady, and she looked like she was devastated. She had accidentally given the hackers the key fob to the bank. Okay. Because the hackers called in with really relevant information. They said, "Hey, I have the owner on the phone, and we're talking about this deal, this deal." They knew everything, so it sounded true. And what that tells us, and what I want to share with our listeners today, is sometimes these hackers are in our systems for 120 days, and we don't even realize, and they're doing the research and finding about how we talk, and they know all the information. So it's really important to put other layers of monitoring. But the most impactful thing that I want to say today, if it is with the threat of AI, like the reality of AI, and that people can get in the email, if we're not monitoring, this is what I want the big take home for today. 2-factor authentication is a non-negotiable, but even more so, if you get a request and you're in finance or if you're in management, you don't make any changes unless you get on the phone or speak face to face and see them. But even with that, now I've changed that in the last 6 months. Before we change anything, even if we get on a Zoom or a Teams, we have the secret code word that we know, that only we know between the finance, so that we don't make that change, because that AI is something AI cannot duplicate. That business lost over $200,000. What happens when you
Oh,
wire $200,000? Do you get it back? No. So it was that they did get some of it, but it was still significant. And I don't want to share any other details of that organization because I want to protect their
that's terrible, man. I tell you.
confidentiality. But that's that having that code word is so critical. I want that to be a take home today. I don't want anybody to have that happen.
Man, tell
Yeah.
you, man, it's really terrible. Realizing that people can actually cause harm to other people without thinking twice, without studying the consequences, it's heartbreaking. And
Yeah,
I tell you,
we live in this bubble where we think it will never happen to us. You're not. What I like to share a lot of times is, you're not too small to get hacked, but you might be just too small to make the news. So this is happening more than what we think about, because it's not getting on the news for everything. Big organizations, we know it's happening, and I even know of a friend's father in the community, runs a small business, lost over $20,000. So I think I lost you. Lost over $20,000, and it was devastating to to uh, to them.
okay, here we go. Sorry about that, the network misbehaved. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, let's just, I didn't get the last part. Okay, can you
what I was saying. What I was saying. What happened recently in this past year, a friend of mine, her father lost over $20,000 to somebody claiming that they had a great investment. And they invested in Bitcoin with them, a crypto. And when he tried to take the money out, they wanted them to invest another 10. So he did. And it was just going to be a never ending cycle. So we advised him to stop. Now, unfortunately, we did get him to stop, but unfortunately, that much money has been lost and there's nothing we can do. We need to educate everybody, and making it be okay to have an awareness of talking about cybersecurity, and our business leaders and our team invest in cybersecurity awareness, making it be okay to talk about it, so that we are putting that time, because I believe the best defense is education.
yeah, that's right. I believe so too. Okay, so I have just two questions. You've literally answered most of my questions. Okay, so what advice would you give to entrepreneurs about overcoming self doubt and learning to delegate? Did you get that?
Yes. So I want everyone to realize, and this is something I've been really recognizing, a lot of times that self-doubt is inside our head, that mindset, and realize that, and this is a silly analogy, but I love Shrek. And remember the donkey said, I think it was, ogres have layers. So we have layers that we just need to peel back and recognize that even though that you have doubt, everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear. So when you take that leap of faith and you take that step forward and you say, I'm going all in and I'm taking this shot. Like I love Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You got to take that shot and realize, yeah, there's a small doubt, but on the other side of fear is your greatest opportunity. And I have so many examples of that, of self-doubt that I've overcome. And I just want you to really encourage yourself to give yourself permission to realize that there's a 10x version of yourself. Invest in your mind, invest in listening to positive thinkers. Like I love to listen to thought leaders every morning for a few minutes or read a book, listen to your podcast. You constantly feed that mind and realize that it's the, if when something's hard, everything else is easy. So you do something that's hard, and that's where you recognize you're going to have so many other great opportunities when you get past that self-doubt. It's there for a reason, but embrace it and go all in. Just love it, So.
I got that. You just shared a great motivational quote. You said, on the other side of fear, there are lots of opportunities. And that hit me. I got that. That was a great one, man. And I'm going to take that as a final thought. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
For folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about what you're doing, you mentioned your Instagram earlier. Maybe you can repeat it.
Yep.
They've got
Sure.
questions and want to learn more about everything we've talked about. How can that be possible?
Yeah. So if you find me on Instagram, my name's Brett Gallant, Brett_Gallant. Find me on LinkedIn. DM me 15 ways. I'll share you that document. I'd love to share it, and I'd love to connect with you all. I'm really grateful to be here with you today. It was a great experience to meet you, and I blessings and well wishes. And
Thank
to your
you,
audience,
man.
it's so
Yeah. Thank
yeah.
you so much, Brett. That's going to be the end of the show. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this invaluable insight with us. It means a whole lot, man. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.